Welcome back for another video. After the first round of fixtures, we're going to take a look at what the top all-time managers are doing. Between them, they boast 403 top 10k finishes, 59 top 1k, 6 top 100s, and an FPL champion. So don't miss out on this valuable data every week to help you do well, so hit subscribe. Manager of the week goes to Thomas Keeney with a starting score of 103 points. He went no Haaland and he had double Chelsea attack and he bench boosted 33 points of De Kuyper. Unbelievable start from him. The overall average score was 50 points around the world. The average expert score was 66 points. Did you manage to beat the average in the first week? Over 1 million managers around the world activated a chip in Gameweek 1, and obviously it certainly helped that about 70% of the experts used the bench boost in Gameweek 1, but it is by far their strongest start ever in the years doing these. So for Gameweek 2, it's a pretty unsurprising trend. 97% are rolling, just 3% making a transfer. No wildcards or free hits active this week, though we do have lots of bench boosts again, even a couple triple captains active, so we'll talk about that in a sec and take a look at a top manager's team. So we'll therefore keep this slide very brief when we look at the transfers made. The 3 players that are being bought are Sangare by 2%, Szoboszlai 1% and Wissa 1%, and it's Wirtz, Gravenberch, Maeda and Osula being sold. The manager selling Osula is due to be on a Gameweek 2 bench boost, so if he's an injury doubt or out, then his hand's kind of forced there. Breaking news today, Liverpool have reached an agreement to sign Barcola from PSG for a package worth about £120 million. How much do you reckon he'll be worth in FPL? And will you be going there once he's in the game, or are you going to wait and see? Liverpool obviously got more work to do in the market, and we'll have to see how FPL relevant he'll be. Szoboszlai was the main man for Liverpool in Gameweek 1 with that 8-pointer scoring from the spot, and he does look like he'll be a potential set and forget pick. With only a 1-game sample size, we have a lot to learn still, and that's why so many want to roll, plus the fact that they will have set their team up with the intention to roll regardless in Gameweek 2. Probably Gameweek 3 for a lot of them as well. That's just a common strategy, whether it's from Gameweek 1 or just after a wildcard. Like, you really shouldn't need to make a transfer straight after a wildcard unless something's gone horribly wrong. And now that we can roll up to 5 free transfers, it just makes it an even more powerful chip, because let's say you can get up to 3 free transfers and then use the wildcard, you can set up to keep rolling up to 5, and that's like having a second wildcard in your pocket, 5 transfers. So as boring as rolling is, there is a reason why all the top managers are doing it. In case you missed it, the new experts tool is live on my site and the app, and it's got all the same data from these videos, which you can get days in advance while I'm still waiting for responses and editing and recording. So if you want to know on Monday, for example, what transfers they've made, you can, or chips used or captaincy, fpl.page/subscribe, and you'll see the list of all the other benefits you get there as well. Only 77p per week on the season plan. Every week a few of them send their submissions after a deadline that I set as well, so you actually end up with some extra data each week as well there. So let's talk about chips then. No wildcards or free hits as I say, but 22% have got the bench boost active, 71% used it in Gameweek 1, so about 7% saving it with the hope of a better opportunity coming later. And there's 2 triple captains active as well, interestingly both on Bruno. Jeremy, one of those, he says it's going to be a bounce back game for Man United. Let's see what happens. Jack, or Fantasy Football Vamps, has got his bench boost active. His last 5 ranks, 72k, 24k, 1.2k, 7k and 377, crazy run of form. And his team is Raya, Gabriel, Thomas, Maguire, Szoboszlai, Wirtz, Bruno captain and Bumo, Zolis, Isak and João Pedro. So he's bench boosting Rushworth, Calvert-Lewin, Van der Wijk and Van Heck. Here's what he had to say. My opening structure this season centred on the bench boost 1 debate, where I felt there was a genuine opportunity to pivot towards bench boost 2 instead. That shift allowed me to maximise a strong starting 11 while backing commentary in what I perceived as a favourable matchup against Hull. Rather than spreading funds thin across 15 players for Gameweek 1, bench boost 2 gave me the flexibility to invest heavily in my core team and attack the fixtures with confidence. A key decision was selecting Van Heck to preserve the optionality. This structure lets me free hit in Gameweek 3 instead, and then move into Gameweek 4 with transfers ready for Chelsea's fixture swing, without being forced into playing Manchester United players against Man City. The squad also keeps the door open for an early wildcard in Gameweek 3 if the team underperforms, though my preferred route is to hold the wildcard until after the long international break and reassess in Gameweek 7 with a much richer information set. The initial team unfortunately landed below the Gameweek 1 average, which is disappointing given the triple up on Man United with a strong opening fixture and Liverpool assets who didn't return despite scoring twice. Still, my playstyle is built around staying calm and avoiding reactive moves based on tiny sample sizes. Early variance is part of the game, and I'm confident that maintaining discipline will help me extract value from the Bench Boost 2 plan over the coming weeks. Overall, the squad is designed with flexibility, patience and long-term optimization in mind. The early fixtures didn't fall my way, but the structure remains strong. The chip pathways are open, and the plan is built to compound advantage once the season stabilizes. My hope is that this measured approach pays off as the data matures and the Bench Boost 2 strategy comes into full effect. Thank you very much, Jack. Best of luck on the bench boost, mate. Moving on to captaincy then, and surprisingly there's actually 5 names this week. It is Bruno who's the comfortable favourite, 81%, just one PFA player of the year. Ipswich home, Man United need a big response from that embarrassing Gameweek 1 result. Haaland is second with 13%, João Pedro and Mbeumo 2%, and then 1 McBurney and 1 Palmer. Just on McBurney, I had to look up to check it wasn't a misclick in the submission. It was from Gazadonna, who is a Hull fan, just to caveat that one, and I think he's just happy to be here in the Prem again. He said, "Up the Tigers, McBurney captain as he's in your head, heart overhead this season." As far as the data, FPL review projections have got Bruno top this week, followed by Haaland, Saka, Szoboszlai and Mbeumo. Who are you guys going with? So let's take a look at the experts team for Gameweek 2. It's a 3-4-3. It's Kinski coming in goal, Calafiori, Maguire and Rodon in defence. In midfield, Bruno captain, and Mbeumo and Ndiaye and Szoboszlai. And then it's Haaland, João Pedro and Calvert-Lewin up front. And on the bench, for Bruggen, Aya, Gross and Davis. Obviously the team has to be within budget, so you might sometimes see 1 or 2 players higher owned than another player, but not in the team, and that's because of budget. João Pedro, the most owned player, followed by Bruno, then Calafiori, then Mbeumo and DCL. A lot of you asked last season whether it's possible to sort the list on the left side by position rather than overall. So I've done that, and that's going to be in every week's video from now on. So you'll get 2 lists. The first list is just sorted by experts ownership overall across all positions. And then you'll get the same thing, basically chopped up into positions. So you've got goalkeepers, defenders, midfielders and forwards. Makes it a little bit easier to follow the list in 2 different ways. So finishing up with some final thoughts from the top all-time managers. FPL Shawnee Max says, "I always try to roll my transfer in Gameweek 2 to give myself more options in Gameweek 3. I'll re-evaluate Man City assets for Gameweek 3 and Chelsea assets for Gameweek 4. I'm keeping the faith in Bruno captain, and I'm hoping he can rediscover his incredible home form of at least 1 attacking return under Karaj at Old Trafford last season." FPL Goldfish, or Yaniv Solomon, he's got 3 top 10Ks and he's got some sound advice for anyone that had a slow start. After a shocking start of Haaland team as captain as well as no bench boost, I'm not panicking. I'm playing Bruno as my captain as pre-planned and rolling my free transfer. I'm planning to not use chips in the next few game weeks, maybe a triple captain on Haaland Game Week 3 and save my free transfers to upload Chelsea players for Game Week 4. Rambuccino as well with some sound advice. He says, "Don't panic after Game Week 1. One game week is simply too small a sample size to draw major conclusions. A player blanking, a differential hauling, or a few unexpected results shouldn't immediately change the plan you built before the season started. Stay calm, stick to the plan. Game Week 1 is just the beginning." Ben Coleman wishes he'd gone for Bench Boost 1 after Bench Boost 2. Having planned from the start to Bench Boost this week, I managed to leave 20 points on my bench in Game Week 1, which is classic FPL and very frustrating. I've activated this week. No doubt it'll be nowhere near that amount of points, but without the safety net of double game weeks, it's such an unpredictable chip. Sam Higgins says, "I think it's usually not a great idea to make Game Week 2 transfers. You can do so much with at least 2 free transfers pocketed, especially if none of us have any money in the bank. Additionally, it's not a good idea to be too reactive to Game Week 1 form. As those points have gone, they can easily blank the next game and vice versa for your own players who may have not done so well. They could go on to haul the next week, so it's better to wait for more information and stick to the original plan." And lastly, Crouch to 5Gay says, "FPL does funny things to the mind. I got a 69k rank, which is more than I'd hoped for, but I had De Kuiper all week and then I swapped him to Hume last minute, so I feel so deflated." Thanks very much for watching. We're going to be live for a deadline stream at 4:30 PM UK time. Make sure you swing by for that. And don't forget to check out FPL.page premium membership, 77p per week. There's a link below for that as well.